We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with another 5 combat tips video. I promise you these tips will make you better in the Division 2. And as I continue to discover or find out about these, I'll always share what I know with you. The first tip is one I'm very fond of and have been from the beginning: status effects, and how no matter what, they're indiscriminate to whether you have 6 skill tiers or none. This is not the case for skill damage or weapon damage. The reason why it's so awesome is because it's one of the main methods I use for creating hybrid builds. Let's say you have a DPS build that focuses on headshot damage primarily. Well, headshot damage doesn't require any other attribute to make it strong. It's powerful by itself, so this frees up a slot for you to roll another attribute. Rolling status effects will provide insane damage to whatever status you decide to use in the build. Like for example, bleed with Ridgeway's Pride exotic chest piece. On the flip side, if you max out status effects on a 6-tier skill build, the status damage is then combined with the skill damage, making it OP. So I look at status effects as being a handy tool that I can slot in where it fits best. The next tip is one I want to share with you because honestly, I had no idea this was a thing. And since I just found out about it, I thought it'd be cool to share with you. By the way, let me know down in the comments if you knew about this. But it's regarding the sniper turret, an underused skill for sure, but after this you might use it more. But it's how when you aim at the enemy's head with your equipped weapon, the turret will do the same. I think this is so cool because at first I thought the sniper turret randomly aims at areas on the body and that we had no control over it. So that means sometimes you get a headshot. But with knowing this, to me it makes the sniper turret 10 times more deadly and ups its ranks amongst the other turret variants. Alright, now we're about to get into the meat of this list because these next 3 are top tier. Here's the first of them: the Vile Mask, and how with it you can enable certain skills that don't normally deal damage be able to. Here's what I mean. I've actually made a couple of builds with this setup, and it has to be one of the most annoying things that your opponents hate, whether in PvP or PvE. So first of all, how you set this up is by creating a skill-based build with explosive damage and status effects as the priority. These attributes are what increase Vile's damage. So if you have the Jam Repulse with this, or EMP Sticky, any skill that doesn't deal damage to human NPCs or players, using the Jam Repulse will activate the Vile's Toxic Delivery debuff, which is basically free damage. You don't even have to be in the front lines. Just jam the enemy, and it also disables skills and pretty much cripples their strategy. Here's one thing that it also does, and it's literally insane. In PvP, if the enemy gets down and their teammate is reviving them, if you jam them while they're in that process, they cannot be revived. I've done this on numerous occasions. That aspect alone has cemented this strategy, making it a definite go-to for the perfect support build. If you want to check that build out, the link will be in the description. The next combat tip is a beast as well. And a lot of you are not believers in this one, but I'm about to make you one. Because you have to know how devastating this is. I've made a lot of builds with this, and it's even been featured on a previous episode of my 5 combat series, but I didn't showcase this aspect in detail. It's about the Ravenous, and how not many of you know about the 50% amplified damage it deals to armor plates while stacking the bonus armor from the left shoulder. When it comes to the Ravenous, most of you only focus on the explosion you get from the stacks gained from the right shoulder. And the Ravenous is a bit difficult to use efficiently in PvP. But what if I told you that in PvE, the right shoulder's explosions are secondary to the left shoulder's bonus armor when it comes to certain enemies? Chungas, mechanical dogs, and mini tanks. Perhaps the biggest challenge in Legendary, right? With the 50% amplified damage that you get while stacking the bonus armor from the left shoulder, it directly affects the armor plates of these very hard to kill enemies, which is why you see in this gameplay how much they're getting shredded. This bonus basically gets rid of the hard shell that they have very quickly and opens them up to receive direct damage to their health. It makes my legendary runs a lot easier, and you can forget about having any problems whatsoever in heroic difficulty. This footage, by the way, is from an awesome build I made called Invulnerable. The link to that will also be in the description. Okay, last but not least, and I've been making builds with this skill lately. In fact, my last 2 had it equipped. The Oxidizer is special for its many advantages it has over other skills. And oftentimes when making builds, people in the comment section tell me things I never knew about certain aspects of gear or skills I utilize in those builds. One particular person brought a tip up to me about the Oxidizer specifically, one I never knew about, and this alone inspired me to get in the lab and make a build about it. And I don't care if I already made 2 builds in a row with Oxidizer because I believe this is next level and you need to know about it. Did you know that if you have the 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐲 chest piece equipped and you shoot the Oxidizer at the enemy, it will cause the bleed status effect. Oh my god, this is crazy. I'm working on a build to implement this and make it a viable threat to those on the receiving end, but man, this is something I didn't expect. And the Division 2 never ceases to amaze me with the many aspects of builds and combinations you can come up with. And that's all I have for you today with these combat tips. Chime in down below and tell me what you think of these in the comments. Also, let me know if you knew about any of them. And if you have any combat tips you'd like to share, feel free to do so. Subscribe to my channel and make sure you like the video. Until I see you on my next one, be right out.